Hi, Alex from Stoic Conditioning here. We're back with another long-form Q&A session. Big question here. What kind of nutrition plan should I follow to maximize my performance and muscle? You know, as coaches, we talk for hours on nutrition, the ins and outs of it. But really, nutrition can be very simple or it can be extremely complicated. Obviously, there is a whole wealth of information out there about what the best diet plan is, what the celebrity's following, what fad diet's in vogue this year. But really, we can separate this down into two divergent paths. Are you in a job where your health and performance is part of your job? If you are desk bound or not in a job where you need to be ready to go at a moment's notice, you can probably experiment a little bit more with different things, start to dial in what's going to work specifically for you. But if your role, if your job requires you to be a high performance athlete, essentially, then nutrition needs to be geared towards that. You need to eat for performance. Aesthetics comes last. Your aesthetics is going to be a byproduct of your performance anyway, but performance needs to be the thing that you're eating for. So making sure that you're actually getting enough macronutrients, you're getting enough calories in. First and foremost, if you're not getting enough calories in, you're not going to be efficient at your job. Whatever food you've got, whatever calorie intake that you need to get you onto your your role, your job, that's what you need to do. Now, if you're desk bound or aesthetics might be the thing that you want to chase, you can start to experiment with, well, what works best for you? Nutrition as a whole, much like mobility, the key defining parameter is consistency. Can you consistently stick to this nutrition long enough to get your goal? Whatever diet you choose, whatever reported health benefits a diet, a fatty diet might tell you about, restricting carbohydrates, low fat, high carb, low carb, high fat, fasting, all of these essentially work on the same principle of calorie restriction to get physique goals. When we're looking at muscle growth, you have to be in a calorie surplus. You have to have enough protein in your diet to fuel muscle growth, to fuel protein synthesis. Carbohydrates in your nutrition as well. If you're looking at performance and muscle growth, carbohydrates are protein sparing, meaning that you don't need to eat as much protein to maintain that muscle protein synthesis. But if you opt to eat no carbohydrates and you eat a high protein, high fat diet, your protein intake is going to be super high, and no comments below about how a high protein diet can hurt your kidneys. It's been disproven. Just leave it at that. Those are the two things that we always ascertain with whoever comes to us with this question. We always come back to them, what's your job? What's your role? What nutrition do you have access to? That's another thing. We're very, very fortunate in the society that we live in, that we can have access to the ability to modulate and change our nutrition and change our diet to whatever we want. Some people are not that fortunate, but if we are that fortunate, your role comes first in this column, and then making sure that we're sticking to something that you're consistent with in terms of your nutrition, hitting the parts of a nutritional intake that support your goal. If your goal is muscle growth, then you need a protein, you need a high level of protein intake, you need to be in a calorie surplus. Carbohydrates are going to help fuel your sessions. Fat's going to be essential to help support your hormonal production and hormones production. We always preach an eat to perform based nutrition, but getting into the nitty gritties, if you want to experiment with stuff and it's not job dependent, then you can go ahead and have a little play around about what works for you and what you can consistently stick to for long enough that it starts to change your body. If you want to learn more about what we do at Stoic Conditioning, you can either go to our Instagram or Facebook channel or go to our website, stoicconditioning.com. From everyone in the team behind Stoic Conditioning, wherever you are in the world, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.